is this team had a superb start to 2023 with a strong unbeaten streak in the league. Recreate their run to solve this riddle. You will require 4 players from that club in your starting 11. This is focused on Dortmund, who won 8 games in the start of 2023, so the assumption is that you've got to win 8 games with 4 Dortmund players in your team. So that gets you the 8 Bundesliga players back. So 8 games with 4 Dortmund players, keep that one in mind in terms of how it goes. Celebration at Miwa, that is to do with Mainz. The stadium is known as the Miwa Arena. So basically, the outstanding display by this player proved instrumental in propelling his team towards a comfortable victory. Hats off to him. Can you solve this riddle? If it is focused on a Mainz victory, so in theory it could be Austria, South Korea, France or Denmark, as may focus on Lee Ji-sung, Anisebo, Ingvartsen or Ajork, because all 4 have been playing pretty comfortably. Now, because it's saying celebration at Miwa, it is important to remember as well it could even focus on winning a team that has beaten a team at Miwa. So that's when it becomes a little bit trickier to kind of break down, because in that case Mainz obviously had a very good season, but the challenge then becomes of, if it's not Mainz players, is it a team that's beaten them at Mainz? So you've then got to say to yourself, do you focus on technically like a Schalke, Wolfsburg, Schalke, who's just recently beaten Mainz there, because they've beaten Bayern 3 weeks ago. It is important to factor in that it could be a Jork, Barrero or Martin. So that would then be one Spanish, one French, or in the case of Barrero is a Luxembourg player. But I would imagine it could even be, it'd be French, because obviously 3-1 and they were comfortable. That's what I am thinking it will tie into. I'm going to do an expanded version on it anyway, and I'll explain every game's reasoning in better detail, so keep that one in mind. Bavarian victory. The start of the season came packed with action as a one-sided match with one team bagging half a dozen goals. Recreate their dominance to solve this riddle. This basically scores 6 goals in one game, and it's tied into most likely Bayern Munich. I've went looking through the game for 6 goals, and Bayern's what is important to kind of pinpoint from the 6 goals is when they beat Mainz at the start of the season. It's funny how the first one, celebration at Miwa, is tied to potentially Mainz v Bayern Munich, and the Bavarian victory is potentially tied into Bayern and Mainz. Now, it is important to kind of illustrate though as well, it was 5-0, it was 4-1 sorry, as Bayern hammered Werder Bremen though, so it could be tied into Werder Bremen, because when Bayern beat Mainz 6-2, it was only 3-1 at half time. So if it's tied into Werder Bremen, I would not be surprised. But it is important to illustrate that both games were 6-goal games for Bayern in such a short space of time. So it's 6 goals to do with Bayern. It's just a case of how many players do you need in the team. It could be 1, 2, 3 or 4. So keep that one in mind. Terrific tie, never give up. This is, even when it looks like it's over, there is always a chance. This team showed their bullish side with this amazing comeback. Can you solve this riddle? To do with Stuttgart, I think, because it's 3-3. So my theory is have a Stuttgart player in your team and score 3 goals with the Stuttgart player, because it could be to do with the 3-3 game. Also, the game in question also made an impact in the title race. But that is my theory on that one. There is other games that have had close draws, but that is the one that most stands out quite obviously because it was literally the last kick of the game. Relegation battle. One team from the capital has had a tough season so far. That is to do with Hertha Berlin. Now the important part is shoot them to their season win total at the end of match day 31 to solve this riddle. So basically, they beat Stuttgart 2-1. Now the important thing to illustrate though is they've won 6 games this season. So they've won 6 games. So my assumption is that you've got to score maybe 6 goals with a Hertha Berlin player, or you're going to have to just score 6 goals in one game. But it's to do with the Stuttgart 2-1 game. On that one, top 5 at the end of match day 31. These 5 clubs were at the top of the table. Include 2 players from each of these clubs in your next 10 matches to solve this riddle. Nice and easy. They've explained it's 10 games, but you've got to have 2 from Bayern, 2 from Dortmund, 2 from Union Berlin, 2 from Leipzig, and 2 from Freiburg in your team. Nice and straightforward. It's just going to be obviously a bit tedious. It's 10 games. Now, if you've realised where this is kind of going, what I would say is that because of the Miwa part, that with Mainz, you might need to have nations to kind of fall into your place, or individual players on the bench to kind of make it happen. And then iron strength. This team has delighted football fans with their amazing performances this season. This memorable match was important because it ended their 5-game winless streak. Can you solve this riddle? It's to do with Union Berlin when they beat Eintracht Frankfurt 2-0. So my assumption is it will be to keep a clean sheet but win a game by 2 goals. That is what I'm thinking that one will entail. So, but at the same time, it could be that you've got to play 5 games and keep 5 clean sheets at the same time. So there's a potential double-edged sword on this one. But yeah, I'm going to, as I said, I'll expand on it properly further. I've made an initial, as I say, it's initial notes for now because it's a lot harder to kind of break down. But when I put the full tweet out explaining everything step by step, I'll hopefully make it easier for people to know how to break it all down. But I think it's, as I say, it's winning games with Dortmund players. So as long as you've got, I would say, as long as you've got 2 Dortmund players in your team, you should be fine. As long as you've got 2 Bayern players in your team throughout, you should be fine. Same for Union Berlin, Leipzig and Freiburg. Best advice is for the 11th player, have a Stuttgart player, have Hertha Berlin on the bench, Mainz on your bench, and potentially a team that's had a result at Mainz this season. But my feeling is that the game that they're going to focus on for Mainz is when they played Bayern Munich and won 3-1. That just for me feels like the game that they're picking on, because Mainz at home this season have been very, very impressive. They've rarely lost. Like Dortmund is one of the few teams this season that have actually managed to get a result. Also Cologne when they hammered them 5-0. Wolfsburg is one of the few teams as well that's got a win. So yeah, so you've got a couple of possibles to factor in, and also Bayer Leverkusen at the start of the season. But as I said, I'm thinking the game that they picked is Mainz v Bayern. But as I said, any questions, let me know. I think I've covered everything. I'll do an expanded version breaking it all down step by step as well, because people will want this done to get Doki, Mueller and Thuram for your rewards, along with all the packs and XP. But hopefully you find this all useful, folks. Take it easy all, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you all later.